Now, let me ask you a question. Should apostates in Islam be killed? Because according to Sahih al-Bukhari, yes, that's violent. You can't just leave Islam according to the main hadith collection in Islam. Sahih al-Bukhari is very clear. There are numerous hadiths where Muhammad said apostates of Islam should be killed. Do you agree with your prophet that Islam should be killed?
There's no forcing to go into the faith. There is no compulsion in religion. If you go in and then defect, it's almost like treason.
Right? So apostates should be killed.
Okay, I don't agree with it in today's day and age, but maybe at that time, because of treachery, there was hypocrites. People got, like that tribe. They had an alliance with them. They broke the alliance. So I think it was to prevent that type of treachery. I don't think it's necessarily needed in today's world.
Where is the hadith that says it was just because of that reason and it's not a universal ruling?
I'm not saying it's not a universal ruling either.
That's violent, though. That leads to violence. That leads to oppression and discrimination in Islam because of that doctrine that apostates of Islam should be killed. How can you say Islam is not violent when that is that's an integral part of Islam?
Both your Lord, God that you believe in, and the God that I believe in, Old Testament, you can't deny that book came from him. He ordered blood. He ordered the killing of the Israelites because they broke the commandment. So you can't say that that book came from God and that was okay, but then all of a sudden he changed his mind. Like you guys, back and forth. There's his rulings. It is what it is. If that's what Islam says and that's what the Prophet said, then that's what it is. And the reason people can dig in deeper to it, but no one's forcing you to. And if they did force you, they broke the book, they broke the commandment.
So this is
But as far as shedding blood, that exists throughout the Bible. Yes, in the Quran, war is a reality of life. My family was massacred in the Kosovo War in 1998 by Orthodox Christians. I never once in my entire life, and even on this discussion we're having, ever blamed Christianity for
Hold up. Okay. You have said a lot of things that are implying Christianity is responsible.
What I'm saying is I don't blame Christianity for what the Serbians did to my people.
Okay.
You guys want to blanket everything people do and say it's because of Islam and its doctrine, and that's not true.
So I specifically said earlier that I'm not going to just point to a conflict in the Middle East and say, therefore, Islam's fault. Meanwhile, you're looking at colonialism and saying Christianity. You're looking at things the Catholic Church said and saying Christianity. So you are generalizing and trying to blame. Meanwhile, let me finish because you've interrupted me so many times at this point.
Calm down.
Okay.
I'm cool.
Okay. Let me finish now?
Yes, sir. Go ahead.
All right.
I have a little ADHD too, so forgive me.
So meanwhile, I'm looking at what specific studies say, what specific books have pointed out. I'm not saying everything that bad happens in the Middle East or in the Islamic world is Islam's fault. However, that doesn't change that it is a contributing factor. There are violent things in Islam, like murder for apostates, like Surah 929, which calls for perpetual war against the non-Muslim world. The early scholars divided all of Islam into two houses, the house of Islam and the house of war. There's a reason the non-Muslim world is called the house of war. Again, I'm not saying you are a problem. I'm saying if you go back to your house, if you turn around and you see all the Muslims on your side, there is a lot of violence. There's a lot of call for issues that we Christians see that you may not be seeing. What I want you back to see is I want you to wake up to what's going on your side, because I don't think you see it. I think you're thinking like a Christian, and I think that's great. But turn around and get all your other Muslims to think like Christians, because we want less violence. We do pray for our enemies. We are called to be persecuted for his name's sake. However, hold on, you said you'd let me finish. Okay. However, when we turn and look at the Muslim world, past 25 years, over 60,000 Nigerian Christians have been slaughtered by Islamist groups. The 2024 Global Terrorism Index, all the major terrorist groups are Islamists. They're constantly targeting Christians, persecuting them in the Middle East.
Who propped them up?
I have one more thing to say, then you can go.
Okay, go ahead.
Grimm and Finke have done a study. Their book is called The Price of Freedom Denied. They have found in their research that in the Islamic world, Shia or Sunni, very low persecution. People of the book, apostates from Islam, over 4 times the level of discrimination and persecution coming from Muslims.